The rematch between Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte is off.
I honestly didn't even know that this fight was on. It just shows you the state of British boxing right now. One of the biggest names in British boxing, and I didn't even know he was fighting. Yeah, AJ isn't where he was. He don't have all the belts anymore. He's working his way back up. But he's still one of the biggest names in UK boxing. And for me, someone that lives in the UK, to not even know that this fight were happening, it just went straight to the back of my mind with all the Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz stuff. That's all I've been seeing all week. And the only way that I found out that this fight was going on is through Eddie Hearn's tweet announcing it's been cancelled. That's one of your heavyweight pulls in for pay-per-views. And your other one in the UK that can bring in the numbers, Tyson Fury, well, he's not even boxing a boxer as well. He's doing what Jake Paul's doing. He's fighting a UFC guy and bringing in the numbers, because that will do numbers and they'll get money because it's in Saudi Arabia as well. So Jake Paul has actually come in and just disrupted the world of boxing. Tyson Fury would not have fought Francis Ngannou if he wasn't there for the Jake vs Tommy fight. He wasn't behind the scenes. He sees it playing all out. He sees the money that these guys are making, and that's why Fury vs Ngannou is happening. Jake Paul has got the business side down to a T. Him teaming up with Nikisa, an ex-UFC employee, and getting all the ins and outs of how the UFC do it, how they run the business. You can tell it's showing. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz coming in with the open workout on Wednesday, Thursday, press conference, Friday, weigh-ins, Saturday, fight. They're bringing the fans along for the journey. That's what the UFC do. That's why the UFC is so high. It's the gold standard. That's why people are moving away from boxing and going to UFC, because it is the premium of combat sport at the minute. And that's, you can see Jake Paul is trying to implement that into what he's doing. Yeah, he's not fighting a pro boxer, but Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul is going to bring in 300k pay-per-view guys. If this fight, if Joshua versus Whyte went ahead, I don't think that would have done the same number as Jake versus Diaz. I think Jake versus Diaz would have done more. And that just says it all, that this YouTube kid has just come in and took the boxing world by storm. Listen, Jake is a good boxer, but he's nowhere near that world championship level. But the business side of Jake Paul, that's how Jake Paul and Logan Paul have made their career. They are businessmen. They are business savvy to the T. And boxing is a business. It's not like the UFC where it's under one organisation and they pull all the ropes, they do everything. Boxing's independent. You've got a promoter, you've got a fighter, or in this case, the Floyd Mayweathers of the world. And Jake Paul, sometimes you are your own promoter. You promote your fights. You don't need the promoter. Kick him out. I can do it all. I mean, obviously Jake Paul's got Nikisa helping him, co-founder of MVP. And I think I'd rather watch Most Valuable Promotions over, say, Matchroom. Boxing, you don't know what's going on. They're not bringing you on the journey. They just rock up Saturday night, boom, we're fighting. There's no public workout. There's no weigh-in ceremony. You know, Jake Paul's doing it exactly like the UFC. He's using the UFC blueprint and just playing it to a T. And that's the business side as well. He's picked a fight with the UFC. He's doing it like the UFC. So all them the UFC audience are going to come and flood into these Jake Paul fights, because one, he's fighting another one of their guys. Nate Diaz is one of the most beloved guys in the UFC, and Jake Paul's fighting him. So Nate Diaz has got his own core fan base. They're going to come along for this journey. And for him to copy the blueprint to a T, the open workouts, the press conferences, the weigh-ins, them UFC fans are just going to integrate in so well and seamlessly. Don't know, what do you guys think of it in the comments? The US boxing ain't too bad, but British boxing at the minute is just so, there's nothing going on. And to have another fight cancelled, it shows it all for me. Well, make sure you like the video, subscribe, stay up to date with all the videos that I'll be posting over the Jake Paul Nate Diaz fight. Yeah, I hope everyone's having a good day. Peace.